Okay, here we go. So welcome everyone. My name is Patrick. I'm here today with some exciting guests, and we're going to talk about the ElPasoVerse, one of the coolest projects that we've been involved in with NMKR in a while. And we're going to keep it relatively spontaneously. So I have some questions, but we will also talk about whatever topic comes up and whatever topic the guests or specifically Ryan wants to bring up. But before we introduce our main guest, I'm just gonna bring up Jami to the stage if she's prepared. Here she goes. Hello, Jami. How are you?
Hi, I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm very good as well.
Good.
And then next up, of course, the main person behind the ElPasoVerse, Ryan Wiik. How are you today, Ryan?
Hi, very well. How are you guys?
Very good. Well, first of all, before we start, tell us about your background and where you are right now.
Well, my background is I've been dedicated to the world of cinema my whole career, my whole life. And
I meant your physical background. Like, why is your location so much
oh,
cooler than ours?
well, that's because I'm in what should be the El Paso verse. This is where I'd like to spend the rest of my days, actually. This is I've been here now on the ground for I want to say 10 days or a little over a week. And it is, it's I'm alone in. Let's see how much space is there here. There is well, the land I'm on now is 4 million square meters, or 400 acres for those that are in Europe. No, 400 hectares, or 1,000 acres for those that are in the U.S. And there's a lot of land around me, but I'm here by myself. I'm alone. I'm sleeping outside in a tent, and I've done some campfires. I've been under the stars, and it's really been very, very special to be here and to be outside, and it's very inspirational. So the only thing that's been kind of taken away from the experience is having to deal with cell phones, social media, charging stuff with batteries, and that's the only thing that kind of ruins it for me being here now.
Right.
Of course,
But it looks,
necessary evil because I want to communicate it to you guys.
of course, yeah. Sometimes you have to deal with that, but it looks amazing. I'm very jealous. I can just imagine you sitting there somewhere reading some of the books, and yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you have one right there. Oh,
I
yeah.
have upcoming publishing, the books that are upcoming. I've actually been, this is the next book. I have gear with me. So I mean, the whole outfit and weapons and everything and cameras. So I've been capturing the images for the upcoming release
Mhm.
and kind of try to plan ahead for that. And yeah, so indeed.
Nice. So, I mean, we probably have a lot of viewers right now that don't know much about you or the ElPasoVerse or what we're doing here. So, can you give us a very quick, like, rundown of the core idea of what you're trying to build?
Yeah. So there's something that's, you know, people have been sitting and watching movies for a long time, and and that's about trying to imagine yourself in the feet of the or the shoes of the character you're watching on screen to try to relate to something that happens on the screen. I believe the next generation is ready for something more. I believe that people should be able to actually live and be in the stories and in the elements. And I want to take it a step, and which is proven by everything to do with metaverse and virtual reality, and trying to create a world digitally. But I think we have something much stronger, much better, and doing a real life experience where you can actually be in it yourself, and you can be the character, and you can feel all the elements. And that really comes down to the, how the clothing feels on your skin, finding shelter from the wind. And but most things that people think about when they think about the Old West or something historic is either to walk the sites and go and see them, or it's a reenactment or something like this. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about full-on storylines that plays out around you where there's nothing that interferes. You cannot bring your cell phone. You cannot bring anything from the outside world. There will be nothing that ruins the illusion. So once you step into the El Paso verse, you are in 1880s with storylines that come out of these books and also come out of our movies. So I guess Westworld comes to mind, but Westworld had robots and also an evil corporation. We don't have those two things, and then Jurassic Park also comes to the world to mind, a place you can go to that is just larger than life, to step into a world with nothing that interferes. Um, does that kind of kick it off?
I think it does. I think it does. There's so many different elements to this, but the core idea of you basically bringing back the Wild West, bringing back a really like human experience for it as well, is of course huge and super amazing, and especially in our world where everything is focused on very short attention spans. Most people are probably going to watch this on Twitter or on Instagram, where you just spend like seconds on one particular topic. um, it's basically like the antithesis to that, right? So yeah, I think
Yeah,
it's,
because
yeah, go ahead.
I think the world has gone too far in that direction. I think it's all this mindless entertainment, and I just want to offer something that I would love to experience myself. And once this is built, I'll probably want to live in it for as long as I can. And I think other people will take away if they enter the ElPasoVerse and they go in. And we're going to have three levels: level one, level two, and level three. Level three is going to be hardcore. It's going to be vast and big. But even level one, or even if you don't want to step into it in the way that I'm talking about, we have kind of a halfway house, and that's what the hotel is about. So you can come and stay close to the action, where the action happens, where you can be around, the film productions, you can see the film premieres, you can go to the premieres of, all those fun things and walk the sets. If you don't want to go full cowboy, you still get to be near everything that's taking place. So I'd like to take a step back because right now, El Paso, most of you guys that have been hanging around El Paso Verse for the last couple of months, you're probably still trying to get a grasp of what we're really doing. But what we've done so far is that we started publishing books, so that's underway. And we released the second book now, and it's sold out. And I don't know, certainly within the first hour. But so this is underway, and this is something we want to ramp up and become probably the biggest or the biggest publisher for the genre, and to turn these gems of novels into real collector pieces. That's the whole idea with Book.io and our partnership there. And I think we're off to a great start. And that's going to continue. We're going to ramp it up with more authors. I mean, we're in talk with, do I have that book here? I mean, this is not a deal I have yet, but we're in talks with Louis L'Amour, biggest of all time in the US, and many, many others, and Karl May, I think I mentioned before. So we want to be able to reach a very broad audience with our books. And so I'm happy that that's on the way. And the NFTs gives exclusive access to the book and ownership and collectability. Our movies is very similar. So our movies, it kind of mirrors the whole process where we select the materials to make films from. So here I have probably 10 scripts from these books that are ready to go, and these are just straight adaptations from the books. As of now, these are my selections. These are the ones that I think are fantastic that we should do. But I really want the community to choose the books that get published, the films that get made, and get involved in every step of the process. So that's kind of our business for the next couple of years, is turning these books into collectibles and also into collectible movies, very exclusive premieres, and really setting the tone for ElPasoVerse. That's really what we will be doing for the next several years. Um, can I continue on this?
I mean, yes, but let's dig deeper into each one of these topics. So let's first start with the books.
Yeah.
Which books are we releasing? How did we get to these books? What is the long-term plan for these books, and how did the whole Book.io thing happen?
Okay. So there's a lot of Western books to choose from. You have a billion different books sold in the genre, and there's many authors. One of my favorites have been Louis Masterson. I read all the books. There's 83 in the series, and Morgan Kane is this iconic character. So I've acquired the rights to the exclusive international publishing rights to these books. So we've started now publishing these through ElPasoVerse, and we're on book number 2. So we have 83 books to go in the Morgan Cain series. We have another 70 or 80 with other, or 70 with other characters in the same universe. And that's kind of our Marvel. That author created a Marvel type universe of characters that flow through each story and each other's stories. And I've we've also adapted many of these into different short form. So here's one called Cimarron. This is one that we were filming on recently. We need to film more on it. It's in production. This is the first one we need to complete. And once we complete it, it'll be a 30-minute movie. It'll released exclusively only to the ElPasoVerse community. And it'll stay that way. Before it gets to the general public, it'll take a year or so. We're still in the books. I'm going into the movies.
No, yeah,
but they're connected. They're connected in my mind because, I see these books as stories that we're bringing to life with the characters on screen, and they're all going to end up here where I'm sitting. So, sorry.
No, I think you kind of explained it pretty well. So essentially, we have these super old stories. Some of them. We also have some newer ones, of course, but these are really popular books, especially here in Europe. Many of them, like for me in Germany with Karl May growing up, and for you with Louis Masterson in like Scandinavia growing up. So that these are huge authors with some books which are completely unknown in the US, but are still like sold tens of millions of times, right? Sometimes hundreds of millions. And and we can basically take this IP, we can use this whole IP to build a whole story around and place it in the ElPasoVerse. So we're selling first the books to get them out, to become the biggest like publisher of these like Western type books, and we're bringing back true ownership by having them as NFTs, right? And by selling them through Book.io, which, by the way, I'm currently in McKinney, where Book.io's headquarters is. So I'm gonna visit them later today as well. And then, once they are NFTs, it opens up a lot of interesting opportunities, actually, because you now know exactly, okay, this person owns a copy of this book, a physical one-of-one copy, not physical, digital one-of-one copy, and this also allows us to build, decentralized like voting mechanisms, or in general voting mechanisms, where we can say, okay, which one of these books do we want to shoot as a movie next, right? And we can just say, okay, everyone who owns one, because we know exactly who owns one, can vote on the next movie, or can vote on the next book that we should release, or the next cover and stuff like that, or maybe even vote on which property are we gonna buy for the ElPasoVerse. So there's a lot of like different opportunities there that we can use because we have this ownership component to it. And I think that's really exciting, and I can't wait. So
Absolutely.
Yeah. Anything you want to add to that?
Yeah, I mean, I was walking through because I'm in Almeria, Spain, where a ton of movies have been shot, and there's so many locations around. I have a list of destinations here of more than 30 different locations that we need to use for these movies. So, and these productions. And I was walking through one the other day, and I filmed something I haven't even uploaded yet, but I'd like to share that screenplay and the storyboards from that location with the community. And I thought maybe the people that own the Without Mercy title should be able to download and have access to that and start getting involved. Just as an example to kind of understand how this will work, because we don't have the whole infrastructure in place yet. But essentially, each production will be hands-on, involved with the community, and we will. I just want to get everyone up to speed on that, because as of now, it's kind of been stuck with me and a few people working on it, but we need to get that out so people kind of see the steps. But the good news, we're sharing at least that on the book covers now. I think some of the people in attendance today have seen the process of how these book covers are being made, and this is still very early days. We need to invite a lot of different actors, and we're going to get very creative and explosive, even for these book cover productions. which again goes a bit hand in hand. Whenever we do have film production, we can create even more elaborate film covers, which we will schedule out throughout production.
Absolutely. So what do you think are the next like big milestones that you and us, of course, everyone involved in the ElPasoVerse should achieve?
Yeah, let's talk a bit about money, because I haven't talked about money. I don't think
Mhm.
we've, since we started ElPasoVerse, we've been focused on the use case, and because I believe that's where any project should start, and understanding why this is so great, and we will continue to do that. But now we need to cross over into the monetization and commercialization of getting the speed up here, because we can do, and the question came up in the community here recently, what comes first now, real estate or film production? And, we could go back to production and finish Cimarron with 150,000 euros. I mean, we could whitelist and pre-sell all exclusive access to that and go back to production and just finish our first motion picture and premiere that, and then people would see the cycle. And we could do that one by one with these scripts, right? We could just, raise the money. They have different budgets between 150,000 to 300,000 or so. What's unique about our model, which we haven't talked about much, is the fact that we're able to recoup our entire production costs through our whole collectability process and our own distribution cycle, which is very different in the motion picture industry. So we're totally autonomous, independent from all the powers that be in Hollywood and distributions. We don't rely on anyone. We can do this and give the value and exclusivity and collectability to our community in a way that it's focused on value creation from day one, and it's going to reward everyone from day one. I think that's a very cool model, and one that gives us a lot of creative freedom, and it's going to be super good for our holders, our community. But instead of going and doing one production and then one and another, it's very expensive when you go on location. You have setup costs, you have takedown costs, people travel. And when we shot last time in Cimarron, we used our own money, and we saw that this is too expensive to basically um, do this in, you know, in a week here or a week there, which is what most film productions do. We need to have a base now. We need to have a place to work from. We need the ElPasoVerse headquarters. And that's why I'm here. That's what we're talking about, getting real estate. If we have real estate like this, our productivity will go through the roof, and we can amortize the cost. We can spread the cost out, and we're investing in our future. We're investing in our whole business plan. It's really the right thing to do. And I would say we double our production value by doing that. We've done different calculations on it, but instead of renting and taking things out of Madrid and bringing it down and taking it back, we invest in our own equipment, and we have this fully modeled out. I need to probably do a session to look at the cash flow of this the film production, so people see that this is a sustainable model. So far, in the process of building ElPasoVerse, this has been exposed to a few investors, and those investors all talk about investing and wanting to invest big, large amounts of money. I've been really hesitant of inviting on any single investor, because they usually come in for the wrong reasons, and it's not the ideology of ElPasoVerse. We can do this as a community. We just need to grow our community. We need many more people, and this is very manageable. So so what I really suggest now is that we tokenize land, we tokenize real estate, which is distressed. It's the price is already low because most people can't use this land because it's either missing electricity or water, or it's the business isn't running well. I mean, we're using it for our own purpose, and the sum of the parts, the connectivity of the hotel down there with the chicken factory, with this rural land, the sum of the parts of what we're creating first as a motion production headquarter, and then the ElPasoVerse experience is going to just skyrocket in value. So I really believe this tokenization of the real estate opens the gateway for us to become incredibly productive with the creative stuff of ElPasoVerse, because we don't need that much for production once we have the real estate. Then we can kind of handle that in the same way that we release a book on book.io. We can do that with every movie, and then we're underway.
So you would say that really getting the ElPasoVerse into the hands of everyone, like building a community around it where everyone can own a fraction of this real estate and own a fraction of the IP and own a fraction of the collectibles and everything. That's the goal.
Yeah, absolutely. And the real estate should be owned and held by distributed evenly on the token holders, and that will, we need to talk about how that connects with the other NFTs, but the real estate itself has its own business case and is valuable. And we've done one for the hotel, we've done the numbers, and it's very, very strong. And it's the same for the film studio operation. And then this land here is a little bit different because but it'll probably take 3 years before we can monetize it. But the hotel we can monetize very quickly, and same with the film studio. I just want to answer a question that came in. Someone's asking if this is in Madrid. No, we're in Almeria, Spain, which is in the very south. That's where I'm proposing that we launch level 1 of ElPasoVerse because of this very unique real estate around me. I'm just going to quickly show it, see if I can turn the camera on. Is there a button I can push to change my camera?
Change your camera. I think if you go to settings.
Yeah, I had it.
And he left. And he's back. And he's gone. Jami, you look so focused.
I'm just looking for some questions here.
Yeah, if you have any questions, write them under the tweet or in the chat or wherever you want to. We'll see them and we can bring them up.
Seems like we're having some technical difficulties.
Yeah, seems like it. I see one question in the chat which I can pull up, I think, about also Madrid again. So it's all not in Madrid. It's all in Almeria, and there are multiple places in Spain and other countries that come into question basically. And I see that Ryan is back. Let's add him. Here you are again. That didn't work as expected, seems. Can you hear us, Ryan?
Sorry.
Can you hear us?
Wait. Sorry, guys. My sound.
No worries.
Should have never. I'm going to leave again. 1 second.
Actually, while he's gone, maybe let's talk a bit about Book.io and how we started there. We now sold 2 books as the ElPasoVerse on Book.io, which was really a huge success, I think, because the second one is completely sold out, and I think the first one has also sold a lot, but isn't fully sold out yet. And I'm here at Book.io headquarters this week, and BookCon is happening next weekend, where Ryan and me are gonna meet for the first time. So that's gonna be very exciting. Oh, there he is back. Can you hear us now? Oh, it seems bad.
I lost audio.
Maybe you can try without the headphones.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Yeah. Can you hear me now? Hello?
We can hear you. Yep.
Yeah, the thing is, I can't hear you guys. I'm so sorry.
Problem.
Well, I don't know if you can hear me,
very
but
beautiful.
I need to hear you guys. So I'm going to just give me a second, see if I can do this again.
So, Jami, how was your day?
My day is doing great. Start of the weekend, and yeah, it's sunny outside. Looking forward to it. I just wanted to also add that in case there are some viewers that don't know, Ryan has a TikTok account that he's very dedicated to uploading basically this whole experience of locating where ElPasoVerse will be. And he has it tiered up like level 1, level 2, level 3 to showcase all the different properties and real estates, like real estate that can be tokenized for ElPasoVerse. So if you aren't already following, and if you don't mind using TikTok, you should go follow Ryan on TikTok. I believe it's just Ryan Wiik is his handle, and it's very, very entertaining and interesting, and you can learn a lot about the landscape.
Absolutely. Go follow Ryan everywhere, and the ElPasoVerse. He's putting out so much content, and it's so high quality. And I really don't understand why there's not like millions of followers yet, to be honest, because I think actually it's really cool to observe it as one of the really early people, because it's pretty clear if you watch it that it's gonna blow up at some point, I think. And I hope Ryan can hear us now. He seems to still be struggling. Let me add you. Yes, hello. You can hear us. That's great. Now we cannot hear you. Wow. Almost.
Wow.
You can. No. Say again.
Now? Now?
Yes, you're there. Nice.
Now? How about now?
We can hear you.
I can hear you too. So then we're good.
Ah, perfect.
So
Welcome back.
sorry, everyone. I will not touch anything.
That's okay.
Can I
That's why you're in the Western town and not in Technology City. So.
Okay. I want to get to the core of the real estate. Can I do that quickly?
Absolutely.
Okay. I see 3 levels for launching this. I think we've gotten across the whole idea of taking books and turning them into movies and with the community. So, and we want to do this very efficiently as a factory. We want to turn out these movies, and we can produce and premiere a film every month. We're well prepared to do that, and once we have a base, we can do that. So this is why I think it's so important to get the real estate, because once we have it, then we go straight into production, and then we take land like this, and with the first movie, we already are building massive sets and improving it. It's becoming a town. It's coming to life in the story. So like this place, I can rotate the camera, but this place here that is, you know, this the one I'm sitting on, it's called the Wild Land. This has kind of the bones of creating a Mexican village, and it's not too big, it's not too crazy, it's not. It's this property is 400. What was it? 400 hectare. Let's see. Here it is. This one is 400 hectares or 1,000 acres, and it's land that we would just use to the max. And we would do that for the next year and a half or two. Once those 2 years is over, then we can open this as level 1 of ElPasoVerse. That means when you step onto this property, once you pass the security guards down there, who, by the way, will be vaqueros, cowboys on with horses, and they'll be, they'll be legitimate security guards, but they'll have everything. Period. The moment you cross, you come onto the property, there will be nothing that you take with you that is not period correct. So there'll be no cell phones. You'll get totally new clothes. And when you come here, you come to Paco's Cantina or whatever we call it, and it'll be full of life. There'll be oil lamps. Someone will have hunted the boar from the day that's being served up and barbecued. There'll be animals all around, and there'll be stories playing out. And probably some of the actors that you see in the movies will be living here full time. There'll be different houses you can go. hunting, you can travel to a different part of the property. So this is kind of the first step into the Old West. It'll be total immersion. However, I call it level one because it's not going to be 100%, because from this view you can see, you can actually see the coastline. You can see, some towns, some farms in the distance, and you can, it's not 100% this place. It's not a deep level that puts you 100% it, but you will certainly come away with an experience like I have in the last 10 days, being in the Wild West. And and then right down there you have the hotel. You have the hotel property, which is kind of a halfway house, where that will be a place where you drive your car to, and you will have normal amenities. But even there, we will decorate it in such a fashion that there's not going to be flat screen TVs on the wall. There'll be instead, a laser projector, short throw laser projector that comes up from a wooden um, furniture thing and just throws the image on the wall. So, it'll be a very harmonic place that puts you in the mode of this place. So So that's really level one. And then down there you have the film studio. So I think when you arrive, obviously we shoot all our film crew and productions will be down there, but the people that arrive and want to enter level one on ElPasoVerse, they will come to the film studio first. They'll have to change all their clothes, turn in their cell phone, and everything is a very specific storyline that they're entering into. And this is very exclusive. This is not a theme park for people to come in and charge $10 an hour. I mean, for entrance. This is a high end experience, extremely exclusive. It'll be probably the most desired one in the world. So that's level one. And I say we now acquire this real estate because it's all distressed. I have the asking prices of each one. I have all the information about each one, and I think we should do that in a certain forum because the owners they're listening to this. They know that we're interested, and we need to come up with what our offering prices are, what we can come up with, and we should buy all this in one go. Excuse me one second. So um, basically, that's as I see level one. And level two and that's the reason why I came down in the first place, is a place called Western Leona. Maybe, Jami, can you find a link to share? Search Western Leona for sale, and there should be several articles that come up. It's been for sale for a couple of years now. It's a Western town. If you can just do a Google search on that. It's no secret that that's been for sale for a long time, and they've been asking 2.5 million. Now they dropped it to 2 million, and we'll probably go for less. But again, we need to agree where we come up with our prices and what the community decides what we're going to buy. But I think we should buy Western Leona. We should make an offer to buy the other Western town. And I tried this yesterday. I got on the horse. I rode from one town to the other. It took me 3 hours to ride, and I saw nothing. I mean, it was one time I saw a highway in the far distance, but it was like I was totally in the West the whole time. We could have people travel by a horse carriage. It'll take you a couple of hours to go from one town to the other. You can choose to go by horse. You can choose different routes depending on how adventurous you are. And when you arrive at the saloon at night, it's not like you just traveled. There will be a lot of things playing out and happening. The storylines will come alive, and you'll meet the characters you've seen in the movies. So that's pretty cool stuff. And I call that level two because it's deeper and richer. And then level three. Are we still here? Are we still in the stream? Yeah, well, not, is that pull that up for a second.
We're still on the stream. We can hear you. He's gone. Okay. I'm just struggling here because I only have one monitor, so I'm trying to switch through. But this is basically the Western town that you were talking about, Western Leona. So,
Great.
yeah.
Great. Yeah, this one sits in an incredibly nice landscape, and it's that's the biggest value is where it sits, because you have this grand vistas and mountains and dry rivers. And, there's a river that is not always dry, but it's mainly dry. And it's got this kind of savanna land, almost look
Mm.
like Africa behind it. There's a lot of beautiful land there, and they have an existing town that if we buy this, we would completely redo it, rebuild it for our own purposes, for our own movies, and expand on it. But there's a lot to start from. It gives us a running start. And that's the thing with also the other Western town, the other areas also, it's actually bigger and more impressive. And so I would say we buy the two of those for our own production purpose. And again, after a couple of years, we turn it into exclusive ElPasoVerse experience. And then let's not forget the fact that in this area, there's many other sets and locations and mines and really iconic stuff that we can just go around and pick up locations from and use for our productions. But these are specific collected real estate destinations that we can turn into ElPasoVerse full-on experience. And then third level, which is the deep level, is I'm going to Texas next week and to see um, land that's offered on the border between Texas and Mexico. I mean, on the U.S. side, and they actually have 400,000 acres of different um, parcels for sale. And we can buy a piece of it, we can buy all of it, but they're asking 230 million for all of it. We don't need something that big, but we, it's got the Rio Grande on it, and it's massive and impressive, and we should take a look at it and see if we want to go that far, because I believe that this could become the most extraordinary experience on the planet. I think people will come in droves, and the waiting lines will be from here to forever to be part of this. So it's something that sounds crazy maybe, but it's something we have to do because we can do it. And this brings a lot of questions like, you know, how are the laws going to be, Paso Verse, what's the economy going to be like, which is going to be Pasos. People should be able to choose to actually live in, you know, if someone wants to live there for a year, not to be a gunfighter, but to live in the time and, work on the land and make a living, they should. And it should all play into an online economy that is living in parallel in today's modern society. So, rewards and utility. So we don't have it all figured out, but we have a lot of it figured out and planned, and we just need the community to help us build this. Um, and this is probably the most authentic, unique experience on the planet, but it's not going to get traction on TikTok and places like that because it doesn't fit into any niche. It doesn't, yet until people understand what it is. So we really need the help of the community to get the word out and to grow now. So yeah, what, Patrick, you're very good at kind of summarizing what we need to talk about.
Yeah, I mean, I think you explained it very, very well. So there's so many layers to this, right? So there's like the whole story layer, I call it, with all the IP that we have, like books and movies that we want to shoot. Then there's like a real estate layer, the actual place where it should all happen. And that's of course gonna be used for shooting those movies, which makes it more efficient and cheaper to do. But it can also, or it will also be extended out as like a place where people can live and experience the whole like world and spend time there, spend months there, maybe without any internet access, without anything, to just experience what it was like, or what it could have been in the Wild West. And it all ties in together. And of course, there's also multiple layers on which we can do this. So there's like cheap towns, there's more expensive towns, there's this whole like place in the US, in Texas, for $220 million. If Bill Gates wants to buy some NFT, we're open NFTs. Reach out to us.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so
I prefer, I prefer, I prefer a distributed ownership model.
That's true. That's true. Like, of course, the whole idea is to build it from the ground up. The whole idea is to
Yeah,
not necessarily bring in large investors, but to build it with the community, and really go step by step. And I think that's what Web3 is about, and that's why we are building this like digital economy around the ElPasoVerse right now. So yeah,
yeah.
um,
I'm 100% convinced we can. We just need to gain enough numbers so we can make this a very accessible and easy for people to enter into. And you know, it's we can do this. It's the time to do it. And this land here, no one else is going to come and buy it, I think, unless we do this. Maybe the hotel. The hotel is very special. The hotel we could turn into a, world-class destination by itself because it's got so many unique features.
mm,
Anyone else looking at it's going to be like, oh, it's only 22 rooms, but we're going to turn it into a campground below with 52 or 53 parcels or so, and then we will turn it into phase two behind with apartment units, another 40 some apartment units. And then it's got the natural water spring running through it from the ground. The water comes out, it's 58 degrees. It's got so many cool features. I think you just have to look at the video, the walkthrough. And but they want a certain amount of money for it, and I think we can certainly make it a lot more valuable in a very short amount of time. We just need to decide, do we want to buy this right now, or do we just buy this land and start with our productions, get that up to speed, get our production studio. It's a small studio. It's not big, but it's 600 square meters of a sound stage, and we'll have the editing basis there. We will be able to receive all the filmmakers we got to receive because we got to have people come in from all over the world to stay with us and to do films with us. And thing is, we don't need massive crews. We don't need 200, 300 people per production. We can do it about 50, and then we just use a lot of extras and local resources everywhere we go. So I think we should start not too big. I think we should start with just a small base, show that we can do these movies incredibly well, and that's going to be the best marketing for the Impossible experience. And 2 years later, we'll probably be ready to open the first one, level one, because then we have the sets built and improved anyway.
yeah, very very exciting, very exciting. So tell me, like, what can I do as a random person who just found this stream on YouTube or on Twitter? What can I do to join the community?
I think you should engage with us on Twitter, on Discord. That seems to be our main channels for communicating what's happening. And we need people. We need to grow the user base now to several thousand of people that really care about this and can help promote this and push this. And then I think it will grow exponentially. So we just need people to help spread the word and get it out there. And then there will be offerings from book.io that people should participate in because they're going to be very cool, they're exclusive, they're very, all one to one, and they're all going to we're going to really reward all those early collectibles. And, if our community sees value creation, we see value creation.
Absolutely. Great. Then I think, Jami, I saw there's like one question in the chat. Do you want to bring it up?
For sure. We got a question from Javier. Personally, I love Westerns in El Paso as a huge part of my family lives there. How will ElPasoVerse win over this new digital world and bring people back to the Old West?
Ryan, do you want to answer that
Yeah,
one?
yeah, I think it's going to do that by being incredibly different, going in the opposite direction. And Spain is the most visited country in the world if this is where we choose to be, or if we choose to go to Texas, we go to Texas. Texas got a lot of good things going for it too. We can always start the project there. But you know, I think anyone that comes to the country, you're going to want to check this out. They're going to want to come and see the production sites. They're going to want to stay at the hotel. They're going to, this is so special and so different that if you set your foot into this experience, you cannot help but not talk about it. You're gonna say it's gonna be your greatest memory, from coming to that country. So I think that's gonna really help us. I also think that the movies are gonna be very strong and cinematic and great, and the fact that they're short form makes them easier to digest. I don't think the world is ready for 2-hour movies anymore. To spend 3 years to make a movie and then hoping people are going to show up and share your passion for in those 2 hours. I don't think it works like that. Here, people will be really involved in the whole process, and we'll have a lot of ambassadors that will help us push the exclusivity and interest in the movie. And when the people actually see it, they're going to see, well, this is damn good. I want to see it. I want to share this. So I think the imagination is so strong in people, and if we can just trigger people's imagination and feelings, we will win over the whole digital frontier because it is so much stronger. Everything else is superficial and it's just floating by, and you have no connection to it. We will demand your attention. We will certainly give you the value. So that's how I would approach it, at least anyway.
Sounds perfect. Do we have any other questions? I think that's it for now.
I don't see any other questions.
Okay, there's only one more guy, Gray59, who said he just minted a copy of Without Mercy, and he's looking forward to reading it. So thank you very much for joining.
That's another one. I want people to read the first books, because then we have more to talk about. Obviously, this is being released to an American audience or English audience for the first time. It's been in English circulation many, many years ago, but these stories are old, and I think they're timeless. I think they're just as relevant today as they've been ever, and then more so. But I challenge anyone to read it to see if they agree with us. Reads like James Bond. Reads like James Bond of the West.
I still also need to read it, but I'm gonna do that very soon, because I feel being here in McKinney with all the books surrounding me and the Book.io team, I kind of need to start reading this book now, especially before meeting you next week. So it's time.
Well, and then I also want the community to basically respond to these different properties that we're showing, because where we start, I guess it'll be easier once we put the prices on them, and then people will get a bigger sense of what we should invest here. But we need to get the real estate tokenization underway, and I'll do my best to keep showcasing what it looks like and the scope of it, but it's pretty big.
Yeah, it is. It looks amazing.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what Texas has to offer too next week.
Yeah, absolutely. Great. Then let's end it there. Ryan, do you have any last words or anything you want to show? You're walking somewhere right now, so
I just wanted to
get the perfect shot.
I don't know. I can't see what I'm filming. I don't want
No,
to mess with
it
the
looks
camera
it
yet,
looks
but
amazing. So like you can't even go wrong. You just turn the camera and everything looks beautiful.
yeah. So
Nice.
All right. Well, thank you for joining in, and for your interest, and let us know what we can answer.
Thank you so much. Have a great rest of your day.
Thank you.